Picture this, two guys trapped in the South Charleston Public Library. One guy loves movies, the other, well, he'd rather be watching reality TV. Can they survive each other's films? Find out on Real Opposites, a library podcast about movies, hosted by Josh and Aaron from the South Charleston Public Library.
Are we ready?
Teacher's pet. I wanna be teacher's pet.
Whenever you're done, we'll start.
Okay.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to The Real Opposites. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Josh.
And today we're back to discuss our Christopher Guest episode with movies chosen by our director, Todd.
Hi.
And those are Waiting for Guffman and Best in Show. And I think we're going to go ahead and start off with Waiting for Guffman.
Yep.
Okay. So I guess the first thing before we talk about either movie, Todd, is if you kind of want to let us in on why you chose these.
I don't feel like it.
Why?
Oh, there's the podcast.
Well, that's the podcast.
Well,
Let's
guys,
go home.
Okay. We'll wrap it up right here.
Weeks.
And if you guys just thanks so much for listening.
So I chose these movies. I've seen them both hundreds of times, probably. Maybe not that many, but a lot of times over the years. I really like Christopher Guest. I like his mockumentary style. I think it's very influential on modern movies and television especially. I love how a lot of the script is improvised throughout most of the film. And I originally chose Spinal Tap instead of Waiting for Guffman. I thought, Spinal Tap's one of their more iconic Christopher Guest films, probably his most well-known, but I thought Waiting for Guffman might be a little bit easier to get into, and it's one of my favorite films of his.
So now you have seen these prior to this.
Yeah, but closer to when they came out.
Okay. Which Guffman's from 98?
96.
96.
Man, Best in Show's 2000.
Oh, okay.
So Todd, you'd say these were your comfort food movies?
Yeah, throw them on when I'm just need something nice to watch. And yeah, I like almost all of his movies. I mean, they do start to get a little worse towards the end, but they all have their merits.
There's always some moment. So yeah, I saw them when they came out. I haven't seen them since, so it's kind of like watching them for the first time.
But you did rewatch them though?
No, I'm just going on memories from 25 years ago.
Listen, I'm putting all of your time out in a minute. This episode is a hot mess, and we're 5 minutes in. I'm going to need you to get it together.
Yes, Aaron. I rewatched the movies.
That's really good. I'm so proud you did.
The only time I don't rewatch them is if it's something I usually watch Die Hard.
Year.
Well, I'd watch Die Hard, but something like that where it's I know this movie backwards and forwards. I don't really need to rewatch it. But yeah, no, I did rewatch these.
And so are you a fan of Christopher Guest? Or?
Yeah, I like Spinal Tap a lot.
Yeah.
And I like him in other, in Princess Bride and stuff. I hadn't seen these in a long time. Okay. So Waiting for Guffman in particular is the one I like the least of the two. It's still funny, but the only thing I kept thinking was this is just Parks and Rec took a lot from this.
Yeah.
You got the kind of small town, quirky characters in a small town. They're very, but just that kind of mockumentary feel where it feels it feels a lot of it's improvised. It was, I didn't think it was consistently as funny as Best in Show.
Oh, okay.
But the characters are very memorable, and overall, I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also liked it. I agree with you in the fact that we will talk about Best in Show in a bit, but I also liked Best in Show better. I thought I liked Waiting for Guffman a little less, but I'm a big fan of Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, and I like them together.
Schitt's Creek, right?
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Is some of this even made me had a Schitt's Creek vibe to it, which they probably pulled from.
Eugene Levy's in Schitt's Creek, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's married to Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he probably wrote some of Schitt's Creek. His son Dan Levy.
Yes, Dan Levy
is like
is the
main,
guy that wrote it.
But I mean, Eugene Levy.
I'm sure
Yeah, I'm sure he like had some some of it's improvised, but it has that kind of like off the cuff feel.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched all of Schitt's Creek. I've watched a few episodes, but it feels has a similar. Schitt's Creek feels like.
I mean, it's more of like an actual TV show.
Yeah,
than
kind of like a mix between like something like
anything.
this and like Arrested Development.
Yeah,
it's kind of the vibe I got.
But I think like the quirky characters and stuff from this kind of come off as stuff that could be in Schitt's Creek.
And Eugene Levy, co-wrote both movies.
Right, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely thought this one was funny. I love Eugene Levy as the dentist.
Yeah,
and it had its great moments. I think overall, like I said, just overall, I think the other one was funnier. But I don't know. It was kind of funny, just them getting together and trying to make this play for their whatever anniversary of the city. I really loved the stuff about the stools that they made.
That was great.
I really like the character development throughout both films. They kind of show you each character in a scene, and it's always super quirky, and then it kind of builds up. Especially in Best of Show, it builds up to them traveling to the dog convention.
Yeah, that's another thing I liked is you do get, I think in. Waiting for Guffman, it's done in little interviews about what they think about the town or what they think about the play, but you get that one-on-one with them to, like you were saying, to understand the character, and then you get them all together, and it's pretty funny when they all get together. Yeah.
Do you guys know what the why it's called Waiting for Guffman?
Because they were waiting for a man named Guffman.
It's a reference to an absurdist play called Waiting for Godot.
Oh.
That is about, so if you know that, then you know that Guffman's never going to show up. Because Waiting for Godot is a play about two people waiting for Godot, and Godot never comes, and all the like absurd hijinks that go on while they're waiting on this important man to show up. And so this is essentially a reworking of Samuel Beckett's play, Waiting for Godot.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
One of my favorite parts, and it was just where she mentioned the hijinks that go on, but the cutout when he's an alien, when Eugene Levy is playing an alien, and his head doesn't fit through the door.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Because didn't I thought during practice it didn't fit, or something weird like that, and then even in the main play it ended up still not fitting or something. I don't know. But I thought that part was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, and I like the fact that like there was the scene where he couldn't wear his glasses.
Oh yeah. He's like, but I can't see without my glasses.
And he has like that lazy eye.
Yeah.
I like how, in general, the musical part is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I would watch that.
Right.
It's pretty funny and unique and.
For sure. So, I mean, basically the movie is about, it's like we said, it's a mockumentary. So it's set with a documentary style filming, as if they're just interviewing these people in this small town that's putting on a play for their like 100th anniversary or whatever. And the director, who is from New York and supposedly did other things in New York, what was his name?
Corky.
Oh, that is Christopher Guest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's Corky.
He's in like all of his movies.
Yeah, I knew he was in the other one. I don't know him well enough to know.
Well, he
funny.
plays a completely different character in Best in Show.
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, he's funny. Corky was funny. Okay. So anyways, Corky sends out these letters to all these people in New York, and they get a reply from a Guffman that's supposed to come see the show. And I have no idea where I was going with that.
I think you're just kind of recapping the plot.
Yep.
Yeah, but I was going to lead into something.
Oh.
You were talking about how you liked Corky specifically. I just saw a trivia here that with Josh saying he liked the musical section. In the early cut of the film, the musical ran 40 minutes.
Yeah. I would watch that. I'd watch a musical of that.
It was at least 20 minutes or so.
It's a good section of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The final third almost.
Yeah. And they are trying to put on their best show because this Guffman's supposed to be there, and I think that's why for me, like, the alien part was so funny because they're just trying their hardest, but it's the littlest things that's going wrong, like, you know, the alien not fitting through the door, or Eugene Levy trying to.
That's definitely like
do without his glasses.
Kind of the funniest, the most entertaining part of the movie is these little like small town people trying to they want to make it big and get to New York and how they're trying to impress everyone.
Really, like you mentioned aliens. I really like the scene with David Cross, and he's David Cross from like Mr. Show and all that.
Yeah,
he's there. He's surveying like a crop circle. And he makes a comment like, no matter what, inside this circle, it's always 67 degrees and a 40% chance of rain. That was his only scene.
Yeah.
So
Bob Odenkirk's in like one a little bit too. Like I don't even know if he says anything. He's like in makeup.
Yeah.
Maybe it's during one of the casting, like during one of the auditions.
I don't know if I noticed that.
Yeah. It's in the trivia too, but I remember. Because I love Bob Odenkirk. He's awesome. He's in a deleted scene, but he's also, like, there in the movie.
Huh.
I think it's during the auditions because he's wearing some weird makeup.
I read that the only parts of the movie that were actually scripted by Christopher Guest and Eugene Levy were the lines in the musical Red, White, and Blaine. So everything else was pretty much ad-libbed or...
improvised.
Yeah. That's the word. And that's the musical auditions where the actors' first public performance of that, their like audition piece. So it was like completely off the cuff. And
I love when the guy he does a Raging Bull scene.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can't really repeat that, but
Paul, yeah, I really like that. And Paul Schrader and Martin Scorsese are credited in the film because they use dialogue.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is great. I was just going to say, I just think overall it's a funny movie for sure. I can see how it's one that you would put in, like it can totally just be playing in the background while you do other stuff for sure, and it would still be funny. There's definitely physical comedy as that is good to watch, like Eugene Levy's Lazy Eye.
Yeah.
So that is pretty funny.
I don't know if like Best in Show feels more like focused and under control, and this the thing with this one is it feels very improvised. Feels like they started off with we're putting on a musical, and that's pretty much it. So the appeal is the quirkiness of the characters and their unique twitches and traits and everything, right. And it felt I just think the Guffman felt too like just all over the place for me. Even though it's the mockumentary, like a documentary like King of Kong for instance will still feel like it's building to something, and this one felt a little like once they get to the musical, that's the part I enjoyed the most. The stuff like all the characters are great and all the actors, and it's crazy that they came up with everything. Like I'm really impressed.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, it feels like it's all improvised because it totally was. But I do get where you're saying that there's like a little bit of a lack of structure for it to really pull you in.
Yeah,
and I think that was my issue with it too. It was funny. It definitely was, but it did just feel. It just felt like it was kind of yeah. Although what you're building to is the musical itself.
Yeah, so like once they got to the musical is when the movie kind of started to work for me. I wasn't really like throughout most of the movie. I laughed a couple times, but it was mostly just like, yeah, it's funny.
I had a lot of those.
Amusement. It's not like a full belly laugh.
It's kind of like dry, deadpan kind of humor.
Yeah. I think because it's improvised, the timing is not as sharp as it would be if like you maybe come up with something, but still like rehearse it a couple times to get the timing right for a movie.
Yeah.
Which I think they do, and like I'm sure like in Parks and Rec and The Office, there's quite a bit that's improvised.
Right.
Yeah.
But because I think they rehearse more, it's less just off the cuff like it is here. It's the timing is a little bit better, and I think when we get to Best in Show, like it's like, man, I was laughing.
Yeah.
I was laughing my ass off the whole time throughout that movie.
It had a lot. I think it was a very funny movie, but it was very funny in a sense where I didn't really laugh.
Yeah.
It was just like in my head, I was like, "That's funny."
Yeah.
So I mean, it was enjoyable. There wasn't
I liked
anything. It just didn't produce a lot of like actual out loud laughter for me.
I had tons of belly laughs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I think it's funny. It's not that it's not funny.
I mean, it might be one of those things where it's like the more you watch it, the kind of more little things you pick up about.
I would say it's definitely one of those movies. Yeah.
Because it's more like visiting friends.
Yeah. I feel like it's probably one of those movies where it only gets funnier.
I mean, just as something as simple as like Parker Posey sitting talking about working at the DQ.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I love. Oh my god, I love that part.
that is just so funny. And then the end, like when it's like 6 months later or whatever, and they're talking to her and she's working back at the DQ.
Yeah, they
again.
said I could come back.
She's working on something healthy, a healthy blizzard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, it does have tons of funny moments, and I think you might be right in the fact that it only gets better the more you watch it. Mm-hmm. You'd probably be more used to the quirk of the people, therefore, I think their lines would hit a little harder. So, I mean, it's definitely something I could throw on again and listen to.
I'll totally.
Yeah,
I'll be
I think
watching this
Christopher
again.
Guest makes infinitely quotable movies because when I was like, oh, I'm watching, waiting for Guffman for work, I was talking to a friend. He launched into the DQ speech and like nailed it, and I was like,
yep, that one.
You know, it really speaks to like how like funny and like kind of like relatable his content is, that it just like sticks in people's heads the way that it does.
It's very quotable.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I like the scene when it's towards the end when the guy quits the show and Corky's talking to him on the phone, and he goes off on him.
Yeah.
I think he says, "I hate you, you ass face."
Something. Yeah, something like that. For sure.
And then Corky stepped into the role, and
Which was amazing.
that's how it had to be.
I was telling Todd this when we came in here, but if anyone has ever seen Pitch Perfect, the announcer in Pitch Perfect is supposed to be doing a Fred Willard impression from Christopher Guest movies. So specifically this one, specifically Ron Albertson. He's the guy who like the older guy who's like very awkward and says like just really cringy things all the time, but has like a very like classic like 50s kind of look to him. So in Pitch Perfect, the announcer character is supposed to like basically be him.
See, I thought it was based off of Best in Show because isn't that the same actor that is the announcer in Best in Show?
Also.
Yeah.
He's basically, they just told him when we walked in, be Fred Willard in any of Christopher Guest movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fred Willard is totally underrated.
Yeah.
He's great in this.
Yeah.
And Best in Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. Best in Show is the same thing. Like just totally inept, doesn't know what he's saying. Like.
Yeah, their audition scene, his and Catherine O'Hara.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing, hilarious. It was great.
Don't you love her hair?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Does she have like the big like hairspray?
Yeah, like a little
poof.
Yeah.
spoof thing. But yeah, I thought that was another great moment was their audition.
Their relationship is funny.
It is.
Like they've never traveled out of Missouri.
They're travel agents.
But they're travel agents.
Yeah. They talk about travel all the time, but they've never traveled.
Yeah. He did leave to go get a minor surgery, though.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's where we find out, not all doctors want to see what you've had done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like that was like mentioned throughout the whole movie.
I would like to know why Corky's pants are backwards.
His name's Corky.
I said Corky.
I know. I'm saying Corky. He wears his pants backwards.
That dance scene when he's in his house dancing.
Oh, yeah.
It wouldn't have been as funny if those pants were on right.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, and you were saying the dance or the musical part was so much longer. It took Christopher Guest about 1.5 years editing, almost 60 hours of film to get this done.
Wow.
That is a lot of footage.
A lot of editing, 1.5 years of editing.
That makes me want to cry.
Yeah. But I mean, it just shows that he's very dedicated to the craft. And I think that, especially when you're doing something so off the cuff and everything like that, like there's probably a lot to cut out. I mean, imagine making, how long was this movie?
I mean, it's only not even 90 minutes, I don't think.
Okay. Well, yeah, imagine if it was video of 90 minutes you had to edit of us. Right. That face is what I was thinking. Like, that would be rough.
Listen, if we ever go to video podcasts, you just get what you get.
No worries. We're not.
You could bring props on, though.
You
Could bring props. We could occasionally do a video podcast.
We do.
It might not be
Once
the
a year
worst.
at
Once a year at
HerdCon.
HerdCon.
Speaking of which, catch us at HerdCon. This is Meryl Streep's favorite movie.
I saw that.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Okay.
Out of everything ever made, this is her favorite.
It's a good movie.
It is good.
Funny.
It is.
It is
I mean,
funny.
It's nice to laugh.
it's a cute movie.
I respect that she didn't pick like something that's in the top 10 of cinema or like something, you know.
Right.
I feel like there's so much pressure when you're an actor or actress to like know your stuff, and like that's well and good, but like sometimes what you know is good and what you enjoy are different things.
True.
And I respect that someone who like thinks of themselves as such like a serious like actor is like, you know what I like? Waiting for Guffman. I think that's kind of
It's a solid
respect
choice.
that. I'll take that.
Well, like Christopher Nolan apparently likes Michael Bay movies. So
Yeah. Wow.
Who does?
Christopher Nolan.
Oh. That's
I mean, like people like. I mean, Waiting for Guffman isn't a Michael Bay movie. But, you know, like isn't as bad. It's like it's a great. I mean, like it's an esteemed movie. Like it's highly regarded for a comedy.
I didn't even think of this when I was watching the movie, but Parker Posey and Matt Kiesler were in a movie together. It was Scream 3. I totally didn't
Who's
think
the
of
other
that.
one?
What is it?
Who's the other one?
Matt Kiesler.
He was the guy that quit the show, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think he plays also one of the movie versions of one of the characters.
Oh, in Scream 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because Parker Posey is
Are
Gail
we
Weathers.
changing All Roads Lead to Crossroads? All roads lead to Scream 3?
Maybe. I think it's been a while since
6 Degrees of
this
West
one
Craven.
doesn't. I don't think anything so far leads to Crossroads on here.
Ugh.
So far.
I'm sure you'll figure out a way.
What was it? What were you saying? 6 degrees from Courtney Cox's haircut?
Oh, that haircut.
So you guys liked the movie?
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was a really funny movie. It just, for me, wasn't a belly laughing movie. It was a, that's funny.
Yeah, I get that.
But I like those kind of movies too. I like that it's not constant big laughs. Like, you know, sometimes just to throw a movie on now that makes you smile a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you're not laughing, but like you got a little grin on. Those are good too.
I think all of his movies are like that.
Yeah.
Best in Show might have more laughs in it for sure. But yeah, most of them are like that.
Yeah, I'm assuming these are the only two I've seen. So I'd have to I would say that I'd watch more though, based on these. I think Waiting for Guffman was the first one I watched.
The one after this would be A Mighty Wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I think that was like 2005 or 2006.
It has a great one-liner in it too.
Oh yeah.
What happened?
Oh, sounds
What
like
happened?
oh hi.
Oh hi,
Mark.
I wonder if he saw the room.
I don't know.
It's just like I'm gonna steal that accent.
That's funny.
One of the things that's always impressive to me with Eugene Levy is like he's like, I mean, like he's a super recognizable guy, but like he just embodies his characters so well that I feel like sometimes you forget it's him for a little
Right.
bit.
That's what I was saying. Like I really liked his portrayal of the dentist, and I agree. I mean, you can't miss those eyebrows. So it's it's him, but at the same time, like he does really embody, especially with the lazy eye. And he's good at that physical comedy, but that's not over the top. It's small things that make a difference.
And
Yeah.
he goes in and sings and makes it seem like he's so nervous and like
Right.
awkward and in exactly the way you would expect like
Yeah.
that guy to be.
In his audition.
And I like one of the kind of common quirks among all of them is that they're wanting, like, they're trying to impress whoever is the camera person, whoever's making this. Whatever.
Yeah, whoever is making it. By the way, I don't know that that's ever mentioned.
Yeah, I don't think it is. So whoever is making this documentary about this small town and interviewing these people, and that's one of the common traits I think among most of them is that they're trying to impress both the people interviewing and whoever, Guffman.
Yeah.
And I think kind of at the end they just kind of maybe collectively realize that it's okay to just be a normal small town person. Like, it's not the end of the world if you don't make it to Broadway.
Yeah, they were a little disappointed at the end when the guy came in that they thought was Guffman.
Yeah.
They're like, "What do you think we have what it takes to get on Broadway?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think so." And they're so excited, and then they find out he's just in town for a baseball game.
Yeah.
So sad.
But him, like, he's got like his little store at the end. Corky.
Yeah.
Yeah. In New York.
What is the collection of stuff he's got? Shoot.
He's got action figures from movies.
Yeah.
I forget the names of the movies.
One of the action figures.
There was something he had like a lot of.
Yeah, those lunch boxes.
Remains of the Day lunch boxes.
The Remains of the Day lunch boxes.
Yeah.
That might be the funniest thing in the movie.
Yeah.
For me.
And then one of
the best scene actually.
One of the collectible figures in Corky's shop at the end of the movie is Cliff Arquette in his Charlie Weaver outfit, and Cliff's son Louis Arquette played Clifford Woolley, the narrator. So I'm assuming Clifford Woolley was making the documentary.
The one making the movie.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Are they related to like the Arquette family?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't say that. Oh, that was the other one. He had a collectible figure of Anthony Michael Hall as in 16 Candles.
Jim Baker was in 16 Candles.
And then...
Because when he popped up in the movie, I was like, oh, that's the dad from 16 Candles.
Yeah. Which one was that?
His name's Jim Baker. He plays... he plays one of the UFO abductees.
Nice.
He's a little bit like an older guy.
He got probed.
He's the one that got probed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. So funny. That was the other thing. There was a lot of random stuff in this.
Yeah.
Like that. It was just that just shows you what that town's like.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that.
Yeah, I want to live in that town. It seems great.
Yeah, maybe. It also seems like I might get aggravated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to live in this town.
Yeah. I might live like the
It's
town
fine.
over and visit.
It's fine to watch them in a mockumentary, interacting with them on a daily basis.
That's what, yeah. Like I might visit them,
Yeah.
but I don't know about living there.
I don't want that guy for my dentist.
Also that.
Like,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
With his like oversized glasses and
Yes.
Those thick bottle ones.
yeah, bottle cap glasses.
Oh, that lazy eye. So great. To wrap that up, I mean, I guess we're at the end of the discussion for this one.
Yeah.
You kind of liked it?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it has
Okay.
its moments. I'll probably like it more next time I watch it.
Yeah.
So I'll be watching it.
So it's not, at least it's not like
No, I didn't. No, I liked it.
Crossroads.
I liked it. I
or-
think I still rated it like 4 stars out of 5.
okay.
So, I mean, I liked it. It's just not like, it's not totally my kind of humor.
Right.
Like like I said, I think it would be better if it was a little bit more
Structured.
structured.
Yeah.
Not as off the cuff.
And I think you get that in Best in Show.
Oh yeah, Best in Show feels like, whew, man, it's sharp.
Which we
It's like
will
a real
talk
movie.
about
Yeah.
in just a minute.
All right.
And now, last question for you. On a scale of Christopher Guest movies, where does this fall for you?
Waiting for Guffman.
Yes.
It's my favorite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's my favorite out of his. And then I'd probably go Spinal Tap, and then Best in Show.
Oh, okay.
But they're all three like right up there for me. I like all of them.
I might go Best in Show,
Yeah.
like, which we'll talk about.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree. So
You should
far.
watch Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
It's
Like I
really-
said, I
it's
wouldn't
really
mind to watch
funny.
his other ones. Like, I'm interested.
So he like Spinal Tap. He wrote.
Mhm.
I think him. I don't know if Eugene Levy wrote it or not with him, but Rob Reiner directed it. But it still feels like this, but it feels like Best in Show, like a little bit
okay.
more. It's definitely more scripted. It's less improvised, and there's a lot of improvisation in the movie. But like some of the gags are just all-time
Yeah.
classics.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I enjoyed both of these, and I think I will check out. Do we have Spinal Tap?
We do.
Look at that.
We have all these.
Nice. In our collection at South Charleston Public
Our
Library.
collection is awesome.
This is true. It's
And
curated
stop
by
streaming.
Josh.
Come rent DVDs.
But if you do need to stream, we also have Canopy.
Yes, if you do, there's so much stuff on Canopy.
That's
Yeah.
I'm almost done with all my 30 rentals for the month. Or 30 credits.
I kind of
or whatever.
forgot about Canopy already again, which I haven't been watching any movies, but I want to go through and watch the A24s.
They have so many A24 films on there.
Oh, they have a whole section of them.
Yeah.
There's so much like Grindhouse trash too, and I love
Yeah.
it. 'Cause
It makes
I'm reading
me
this
sad.
Grindhouse book and I'm finding all the movies on
Do
Canopy.
you know
that's
what
awesome.
one they don't have?
What A24?
The Witch.
They don't.
No.
Oh
They did. The one with the antlers on the DVD cover?
No.
no,
That's not it.
Isn't
that's
that
the
something about
Wretched.
antlers.
Like a sheep. Bah.
That's lamb.
It's, the lamb on the cover?
I think it's called a lamb.
Oh, no.
It's
That's
a
not
good
what I'm
movie.
talking about.
I'll
show you later.
They did not have The Witch when I looked last, and the A24 options from.
I'm sure
What a
it'll pop
sad
back
story.
up.
And it is my favorite one.
I haven't seen it.
I bet we have it in the collection.
We have it on Blu-ray.
I've liked every A24 film I've seen. Like, there's not been one that I
I
didn't like.
can't remember. Well,
They've definitely put
I need to rewatch the one where the girl gets her. She does that and she gets her head knocked off.
Hereditary.
Hereditary.
Yeah. I need to rewatch that. I was not a fan of it, but I think that was circumstantial. I think I need to rewatch it.
It's a good movie.
But other than that, I there's been a lot of movies that I was like, oh, I like these, and it's A24. So
Sorry, whoever picks who they back does a really good job of of picking movies that are going to be good. Like,
yeah,
Picking
know.
good scripts.
whoever reads their scripts and is like, yeah, this one
yeah.
is good at it.
Well, I guess we're done talking about A24 since we did that. What, last episode?
We're just secretly
Episode
we want this to be a horror
It
podcast.
was so bad.
Yeah.
We wanted to be a horror podcast so bad.
But don't worry, more horrors on the way, y'all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Waiting for Guffman, I liked it.
It was all right.
You think
liked
it's okay?
I liked
It's
it.
your favorite. So definitely 3 levels of
Enthusiasm.
yes. So, but we're going to go to some announcements from the library, and then we will come back and talk about Best of Show.
Best in show.
Best in Show.
Hey guys, this is Toby here with some announcements from the library. In February for adult programs, on Monday, February 5th at 6 p.m., we have our first meeting of Fantastic Feast with the Cat Who cookbook. You still have a couple of days to come in and pick out a recipe if you would like. Other than that, we will see everybody on the 5th for our community potluck. Tuesdays this month, with the exception of the 20th, we have Try It Tuesday. Try It Tuesdays are where I am in the community creative space from 3 to 6 to help people with any projects that they might have in mind. Saturday, February 10th, we have Stitch and Saturdays, which is where you can bring any sewing, crochet, embroidery, cross stitch, any kind of fiber art project that you're working on, and just hang out and have a nice social time. But we will also be teaching basic cross stitch on that day as well. On February 20th, we will have our first official meeting of the book club this year, the Spill the Tea Book Club, at 6 p.m. If you'll come to that having read Be Useful, which is by Arnold Schwarzenegger. We'll be talking about that book at 6 p.m. and we'll announce our next book that day. On the 26th at 5 p.m., we have our Dungeons & Dragons Club. We play Dungeons & Dragons here at the library. We have one table that kicks off at 5, and then another table that kicks off a little bit later for those that aren't able to make it right at 5 o'clock. So if you've never played Dungeons & Dragons before, just feel free to come by and we'll teach you how. And you're welcome to just join into that anytime. Thank you. And that is all for that month for this month for adult announcements. For children's programs, do remember that we have Spanish story times on Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. On Thursdays, we have Words and Wiggles at 10:30 a.m. On Wednesdays, we have Teen Territory from 3:30 to 4:30. And then we are launching an all-new Saturday story time at 10:30, Saturday, February 10th. And then Saturday, February 24th, we have Craft Afternoon at the library, and that goes from noon to 3 p.m. All right. Thank you so much, and we hope to see you at the library.
All right, we're back from those announcements from the library, and we're going to go ahead and jump straight into our discussion on the next Christopher Guest movie, Best in Show. Now, Todd, you said that you picked Best. What was the reasoning for picking Best in Show over Spinal Tap?
I just felt like Best in Show. Well, originally I picked Best in Show and Spinal Tap.
Right.
So I swapped out Spinal Tap with Waiting for Guffman. I thought Waiting for Guffman would just be an easier film of his to watch.
Okay.
And Spinal Tap is I don't know. It's about a metal band.
Yeah.
And it's different. But
yeah, these two are definitely more comparable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
There's a goal. There's some sort of like not really a competition in Waiting for Guffman, but there's
something that they're
working towards.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, now Best in Show, I definitely liked more than Guffman, and I thought it was hilarious. Once again, Eugene Levy's amazing. I love that he has 2 left feet.
Yeah.
Literally 2 left feet. I died laughing when they panned down and he just had 2 left feet. It was so good. Yeah. And that, again, his physical comedy.
They called him Loopy.
Yeah. They called him Loopy because he walks in loops.
Yeah, this one was like, man, right from the start, I didn't stop laughing the whole time, I don't think.
Yeah,
like,
it definitely did that.
One of my favorite parts is Parker Posey and whoever her husband is. They're and their dog. And they, how the movie starts and they're in therapy.
Oh, yes,
kid,
yeah.
And it's like the dog's just laying there on the
right.
dog bed. And they're just like always just, all of their emotions they're just
related to the dog, or they attach them to the dog.
Yes.
Yeah, all their everything they're going through and feeling, they're just projecting onto the dog.
Right, exactly.
And the dog's just like, I don't know, my dog.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. Like when they have the competition, she has to run back.
Get busy
because she lost the toy.
She lost the toy, and it's just picking the toy, and it's
the whole scene when she goes down into the toy store.
It's great.
Or not the pet store.
Yeah. Pet store, yeah.
And he's like trying to find her a little bee-shaped dog toy, and there was like a little bear. She's with that looked like a honeybee.
Yeah.
She's like, that's a bear.
And then he found one that had wings, so it was like comparable. But then she picked out like this weird one, and he's like, that doesn't look like a bee at all. And she's like, shut up. Hilarious. But
and I love. Sorry,
go ahead.
And I like Harlan Pepper a lot. The one with the hound. Is it a hound dog?
It's a hound dog.
Hound
The
dog?
bloodhound.
I'm a bloodhound man.
I'm a bloodhound man.
Oh yeah.
He might be my favorite character.
That's Christopher Guest as well.
Yeah, it's Christopher Guest too. Just
he was funny.
His drawl and his just very flat, monotone delivery. I could watch
just
that.
A man and
I
his
could watch
dog.
that all day. Just him and that dog.
And it's Christopher Guest again, and 2 totally different characters in this and
oh yeah.
Waiting for Guffman, but pulls off both of them perfectly. His character in this one is pretty funny with the hound dog, and just I don't know.
He owns a fishing shop.
Yeah, just very monotone.
There's that scene where
He just loves his dog.
They're at the reception before the dog show, and he's talking to Parker Posey and her husband about fly fishing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You could just tell that they're just like they want to get away.
He talks real slow, so
Yeah.
you can just feel like the pain of trying to extricate yourself from
feel like
a conversation.
He's the same as the dog, kind of.
Yeah.
Like he matches his pet.
He's also a ventriloquist as well.
Oh yes, that's true.
Yeah, that was great.
That was great.
He's not bad either.
No, but yeah, I thought this was definitely the better one, which, I mean, this one is about a dog show, if you haven't caught on to that. But, and you get, in the beginning of the movie, you get that one-on-one with the characters again, like we were talking about, where they're interviewing them leading up to the dog show. And one of the people leading up that I was so excited to see, and I didn't know was in this, was Jane Lynch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She is hilarious.
She's great.
And she's like crazy over this dog. And because they've won like the past 3 times or something, 2 times.
Yeah.
I don't know. But when she popped on screen, she was hilarious from first second on screen.
I liked seeing Will Sasso there for a second.
Yes. He plays what? Like a friend or an employee?
He is a fishing hole guy in the,
Oh.
in the script.
He runs the fishing hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that scene where he's like he's getting ready to travel to Philadelphia, and he's telling Harlan Pepper, he's like, "Are you going to go fishing?" And he's like, "No, I'm going to a dog show." And he's like, "They got rivers and lakes in Philadelphia?"
Yeah, that was another good surprise because he's funny.
I love Will Sasso. He always makes me laugh.
I like anytime Jennifer Coolidge is in anything.
Oh, yeah.
She's hilarious.
Yeah. She was great in this, of course.
Oh yeah, she's the wife,
The future lover of Jane Lynch.
Yeah, but she's married to the old.
She is Anna.
Yeah.
Anne, what's her name? Anna Nicole Smith.
What?
Like the same thing as Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they're parodying.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I saw her giving an interview the other day about she hates when she has to play a loser in something because they'll like dress her up and like make her look frumpy, and then she'll forget that that's what she looks like. So she'll go to like hit on someone or talk to someone with the same confidence she normally does.
That's funny.
And they're just like, please get this woman away from me.
That's great.
She was talking about doing it on like, I think Legally Blonde was the one where they like frump her up super
I've
hard.
never seen
And they
it.
were like, she was like, it was an awful experience. She was like, I hate
She's
it.
just funny in general.
I really like the scene when they first interview her with her husband, who's like probably 100 years old.
And he doesn't move at all.
Yeah. And she talks about their love of talking and not talking.
Yeah. She's like, you just never know what we might talk about or not talk about. And he's literally just sitting there, like with his mouth open.
We both love soup and snow peas.
Yeah. I did think it was going to come up in the end that he died and like she was really rich or something and they got together. They do get together in the end, Jane Lynch and Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
But I thought that was going to be a bigger thing since it was such a big thing at the beginning.
Yeah, they never really went back to that.
They didn't circle back at all. That or like he died and he really didn't have money or something like that. But they didn't circle back to it. I would have liked that. But this one, I think Best in Show definitely delivered more out loud laughter for me. All the characters are just so funny. I don't know.
Well, it just feels like Waiting for Guffman to me is like the warm up for this.
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of learned a lot on how to do it, how to edit it, how to structure it to a certain degree. And I mean, this one just right out of the gate was. And then it's like over before, like, it feels like it's just done. Like it did. It's so quick. Like it felt like
flows.
okay, we're already at the dog show, and then it's
Yeah.
like 10 minutes later, it's over.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
I did think this one flowed a lot
I could
better
have
and
watched
it was
another
over.
hour of it. Like
Yeah.
it was so funny.
Speaking of the dog show, I love that Catherine Hare's character, Cookie. First of all, Cookie was well known by a lot of men.
I know.
That
It's
was
one
the
of my
going
favorite
gag.
running gags in the movie.
It was so good. Even when they went to like her exes, and she's like, "It's fine," and then like her ex makes out with her.
He's like, well, as soon as they get in, and the ex is just like goes to like Eugene Levy, and he's like, hey, you stay here, and then he takes her.
Yeah,
around
shows
to
her the house.
And then it just like goes into Eugene Levy's like,
Yeah, like just thinking. Yeah, so that was great. But then you get to the dog show, and she hurts her leg, or something, and then Eugene Levy has to do it. And he takes the dog out, and he has to walk a certain way to try to keep the dog straight because of his 2 left feet. And they like show a zoom up of his feet while he's walking the dog.
Yeah.
And that to me was hilarious.
Fred Willard kind of calls him out as well.
Yeah.
He's like, I have 2 left feet.
Just great physical gag. And
The other commentator was like, yeah, that's something we can actually agree on.
yeah, because man, the Fred Willard, so funny commenting on this stuff, and it was about nothing about dogs.
I don't know.
He just was somebody they hired off the street, basically. Like he knew nothing about
All right.
dogs.
Yeah.
So remember we were saying about Pitch Perfect? John Michael Higgins, who plays the announcer, is in this movie. He's in
Right.
the gay couple. So like he.
Oh wait, I thought the announcer was the announcer.
No. Fred Willard plays the announcer. The guy who plays the announcer in Pitch Perfect, John Michael Higgins, is in this movie with Fred Willard.
Oh,
So that's why he does it so well when he goes to do it for Pitch
well,
Perfect.
clearly I thought they were the same person.
I don't know if Fred
don't
Willard and Adam West ever made a movie together, but that would have been gold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Both of them, I feel like they're just kind of like very similar. How they deliver their lines, and
yeah.
both really very funny.
Yeah, he had so many funny lines.
All of his stuff where he's commenting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I say. It was half of it was not even dog related, or if it was he didn't know much about it.
He had the idea for the calendar.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I say. There's so many good gags in this one.
Yeah. It's pretty layered with
Yeah.
comedy. Like I think if you rewatch this one too, you would find a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think the characters are better drawn in this.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
They're-
I think I'm more drawn to these characters.
Yeah, I mean they're more clearly defined.
Yeah.
and there's continuous running gags throughout the movie, like with Cookie and her various male friends,
Yeah.
and like how unstable the catalog people, as Christopher Guest calls them,
Yeah.
Parker Posey and that couple. They're my favorite in the movie. They're so funny.
I love if their dog like ended up attacking them or something.
Yeah.
It's Michael Hitchcock, by
Michael
the way,
Hitchcock,
since
yeah.
we keep just not
Like,
saying
well,
that actor's name.
Like I know him. Well, he was on like The Office and I think Parks too. So like I know his face. I just can't.
Yeah.
I love when they talk about at the very beginning of the movie about meeting each other. And he's like, I was at one Starbucks and
Oh,
she was
yeah.
at the other Starbucks and I was on my Mac and she was on her Mac.
Yeah.
I'd go to the one Starbucks, but then she'd be over at the other Starbucks.
So good. But I don't know, the full circle of them end up getting attacked by their dog that they were putting all their feelings onto.
Yeah.
Right? That happened, the dog attack?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure. Well, because something like that actually happened to me in real life. I didn't get attacked by a dog, but there was this lady where my mom used to walk and we would ride our bikes while she walked. And this lady had this big like poodle, I think, but
That's a big poodle.
do poodles not get this
They
big?
get big.
Not quite that big.
Like a normal poodle, not a little baby,
Like this.
not a baby ankle biter, but like a poodle,
Yeah.
like a poodle.
A standard poodle.
Yeah. And it
Rufus the poodle.
could have been a bear. I don't actually know what kind of dog it was, but
Bears or dogs?
huh?
Are you saying bears or dogs?
Bears are not canids.
We need to have a.
No, I just couldn't think of another
Science lesson
name of a
lesson.
dog.
like a Newfoundland.
I kind of was
Big
thinking
dog.
about that after I said
You
it,
just
and I was
watched
like, none of that
Best in
makes sense. Yeah. But she would always be walking her dog, and she would always yell and be like, "Don't ride your bike near my dog." And we'll be like, "Okay." So then we'd walk her bikes past her dog, and she'd still be like, "Get those bikes from my dog."
Is the
Then-
dog like behind the fence, like in a yard or something?
No, she's walking the path too.
Oh, she's walking the
So
path.
like she makes
Okay.
the choice to bring her dog somewhere that people walk and ride
Walking
bikes.
bike.
And it wasn't very long after that we were in Kroger and saw that lady, and she was black and blue all over. and her dog had attacked her.
Oh my gosh.
And it felt like sweet vengeance, sweet revenge. I don't know which word I meant, but it was one of the most glorious things that ever happened to me. Because she got hers.
She got hers.
Karma keeps receipts. But anyways, that's what I thought of when I watched this movie.
Where do we go from here?
Where do we go?
Rosie did get real braces.
She did.
For the
yeah.
movie?
Yeah.
That is great.
Braces. Purposely told Fred Willard to not research anything about dogs, which clearly
He did not.
he did not.
They were like, please show up knowing nothing about dogs. Oh, forget everything
act
you
as-
do know
Act
about
as if
dogs.
you've never seen a dog before.
That's great, though. I mean, he was hilarious.
How do you get a little dog like that? The guy's just like breeding.
Very true. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, like this one says they also have like 60 hours of footage that was filmed.
Yeah, so maybe that was just a
they
thing that
need-
Christopher Guest
They need to
did.
do a director's cut, or they need to
Oh
make
my
that
gosh.
footage available.
Yeah.
I would watch a lot more of this. Not so much Guffman, but this one I would totally
Just
watch.
60 hours of Best in
Maybe
Show.
not 60 hours. I
Yeah,
could
that's
do,
a push.
I could do for like another hour if they made like a 2.5 hour director's cut.
Yeah.
I would watch that.
So Eugene Levy did have those great Terrier songs in the movie. He actually wrote both of them. And then, at the end, they're making their own CD, and him and Catherine O'Hara is singing the Terrier song, and I died. It was so bad, but I thought that was hilarious that was their new endeavor.
Yeah.
Was to create music for terriers.
And then of course she knew the record producer.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that had not stopped. And it was always so funny because they'd be like, "Cookie," and she'd be like, "Yeah." She knew, but like she didn't know who that person was.
Well, at the very beginning of the movie, they're interviewing Gene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, and she's like talking about her past relationships, and she goes, "I've had hundreds."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Hundreds? I didn't know that."
Yeah. She just says it so nonchalant. Just, yeah, I had hundreds. I just read that to ensure the film got a PG rating, Meg's drug use was edited from the final film.
I think that makes it better because it just makes it a mental health issue.
Right. It just makes her,
More manic.
Manic.
yeah. But that is funny. I could see where it would have been drugs, but I do kind of like that it wasn't
I like the
said.
Bob Balaban as he's like the doctor. I forget
Like
his
therapist?
line. Yeah. Is he the therapist?
He's the he's like the head of the dog show.
Yeah, he's the head of the dog
Oh, okay.
And then he was the musical instructor in Waiting for Guffman.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember him more in this one. He always plays a straight man like that, really easy. Like his deadpan like looks
Right.
at the absurdity going on around him is always very welcome. I like him a lot.
I don't know that I would have picked Cookie's dog to win. I don't know. I felt like there were a lot of cooler dogs there.
I was really hoping that Harlan Pepper's dog would win.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's who I was rooting for.
They had a little one too, didn't they?
He had a bloodhound. Bloodhound.
Harlan Peppers.
Oh, Harlan Pepper was the character's name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. That was Christopher Guest.
Christopher Guest has
Yeah, I would have been okay with that. Although, clearly, I don't think he would have won, but I don't know. It was just funny.
Which dog who won? Cookie won?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you wouldn't have got
What did
that
they-
scene with
Terrier.
the two
They
left
had the little
feet.
terrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate terriers when they're like their hair's so long. They just look ugly when their hair's really long.
Oh, I love the scene when they're
do
they're
sometimes
visiting
look
their
unkempt.
friends in Akron, and you mentioned it earlier,
Mm-hmm.
but the little boy like slips off and like he's on the top of the shed with a parachute.
Oh,
and all.
yeah.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. He was about to toss the little terrier.
The dad is
As a
trying to talk him
parachute man.
down. He's like, "I'm gonna poke a fork in your eye."
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. That is a great scene.
He's the the hostage negotiator.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, okay."
They're talking about how he's like lost. He's supposed
They all
he's
jump.
the most indifferent hostage negotiator ever.
I think is it Eugene Levy's character that asks him like, "Well, how many have you talked down?" And he's like, "Oh, I mean, they all jump eventually, you know. But all we can do is try." And then you hear that he's like, "I'll poke your eye out." Well, no wonder. No wonder nobody's successfully talked down. Oh man, I feel like this is definitely a movie that definitely made me laugh more, but
Yeah.
is one that I think the more you watch it, you'll find little things as well. And it seems like maybe that's just how a Christopher Guest film would be in general, that it's just that kind of movie where you do find little funny parts every time, which is nice because it makes rewatch better.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many little eccentricities everyone has,
Right.
and I mean, it's just like it's so much funnier and so much. There's a lot more laughs that like you kind of miss stuff when you're laughing.
Right.
So
Very true.
I'm definitely gonna rewatch this one.
Yeah. I think I will too. Because just even that, the scene on top of the garage, like I totally forgot about it, so you mentioned it. And it's not a long scene, but it's hilarious. Like everything that happens in that scene is great. So, and I think this one has more of that. But I don't know. I mean, Waiting for Guffman had its own feel, and it had funny parts throughout it as well. So I liked both of them.
Yeah, I did.
I'm glad you both liked them.
Yeah. Like I said, I think I liked Best in Show better than Guffman.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I could see why you choose that.
Yeah.
I think it's the most accessible film of his.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's by far his most popular.
Oh, okay. Which one?
Best in
Best in Show.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That or Spinal Tap. But
Yeah. Now, is Eugene Levy and
Are they in Spinal
Catherine
Tap?
O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara? Yeah. Are they in Spinal Tap?
no.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Gene Levy might be
He
somewhere,
might be in
like
it.
a little bit role. I don't
Okay.
think Catherine
I just
O'Hara's
love
in
them
it at all.
together.
Oh,
so
they're great.
But they're in I think A Mighty Wind.
I think they're in everything.
Oh,
else.
Yeah.
But no, Eugene Spinal Tap has. I don't know if you know him, but I mean, it has Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, Harry Shearer. No, just okay.
Yeah, I'm just looking at you blankly. I'm sorry. But you got to remember, I'm bad with names. Like, I
know.
forget y'all's names most of the
I mean, Harry Shearer's mostly known for Simpsons anymore.
Oh, I watched that.
He's I think is he Mo?
Used to. He's
I
the
think he's
mother?
Mo.
Oh.
Bartender.
Okay.
I think he's Mo.
Is he?
I believe that's
Principal Skinner, Kent Brockman, Mr. Burns, Waylon Smithers, Ned Flanders, Reverend Lovejoy, Dr. Hibbert.
Wow.
He's pretty much half the cast.
That's a lot of good characters.
Yeah. But he's not Mo, so I was wrong on that one.
I think Mo's
He's
Dan
almost every character
Castellaneta.
except Mo.
Oh, is that Dan? Okay.
I think it is.
It's who?
I think it's Dan
the
Castellaneta.
same guy that voices Homer.
Homer.
Yeah. I mean, I think the films were influential.
I mean,
For
definitely.
sure.
That's all I could think of. I mean, I was partly distracted in Guffman just because I was like, man, this is just like Parks.
Yeah.
It's not quite as funny. But
I could see where they draw stuff. And like I said, I mean, I could see it in Schitt's Creek.
yeah.
I could see them drawing some of the quirkiness of the characters and stuff, mainly from Guffman.
Yeah.
But I feel like it had that feel too. And it might be because it also has Eugene and Catherine O'Hara. But
This might be a stretch, but I don't even know if you would have like Wes Anderson movies without Christopher Guest. Like the whole, it seems like he kind of started that whole like kind of quirky vibe.
what's Wes Anderson? Have I watched some?
Rushmore, Royal Tenenbaums, Asteroid City.
Oh, yeah. That's the ones I want to watch and I haven't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a fan.
I think you would
I mean,
like
Rushmore
them
came
though.
out.
Huh?
They came out in the 90s and
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, it wasn't.
like 99 maybe.
I don't get like a Christopher Guest feel from his movies.
No.
Some of the characters I
Especially-
do though.
The kind of quirkiness of the characters and the dry humor and that's what I pick up from it.
I mean,
I get
the
a similar
style is
feel.
not at all the
No.
same though.
No.
He's more influenced by like silent movies and than anything else.
Yeah, the art and cinematography is much different.
It'd be nice if we made a different movie, but
But I do think some of the characterizations are kind of similar, though. They've like got like an awkwardness, a secondhand like embarrassment kind of feel to them. I could see that. Did you know that Jane Lynch was cast off of a Frosted Flakes commercial?
That Christopher Guest directed, I think.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's why he cast her.
So is this her like first big thing?
Probably.
That's the first thing I saw her in.
Yeah.
I really wish they would have shown her makeup.
I know.
Like that had to be hilarious.
I would have loved that. But that whole scene is funny though.
Yeah.
I don't know. The characters in this one they really got me.
Well, the way
they were all great.
You take all these characters from different kind of walks of life, and you throw them all together, and they all interact. I think that's part of the appeal of this one versus the other one, where they're all kind of from a small town. They're not really.
That's true. They already know each other, kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's not as much spontaneity from their first interactions together. So I think that's what makes this, especially once they get to the dog show.
Yeah, because in this one, they're all from different states and everything.
Yeah, and one of my favorite scenes of this one is like props to Ed Begley Jr., he plays the hotel manager. Mm-hmm. When, was it Cookie and Eugene Levy can't get to they don't have enough money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He gives them the janitor's closet.
Yeah, like the janitor closet, the maintenance room. And they're like, we'll get a cot and some blankets and, it'll be okay. We'll spruce it up or something.
Yeah.
And it's great. Still loved it.
Yeah, and they kind of foreshadowed that tee because they showed that room before that scene.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Oh, it had all their like cleaning products for the dogs.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because they're interviewing him about the cleaning products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which were all like name brand products. So I'm guessing they either just used those or they paid for a little ad there.
Yeah, I'd noticed some of those products before. Yeah.
Because they had to put on the dog show. No dog show would let them film. Like the whole. Imagine,
so they probably really needed
that was the most
stuff,
expensive part of the movie. I'm assuming
was actually having a dog show.
Rent this kind of civic center space or whatever.
Right. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Have a fake dog show. Although a lot of the handlers and everything were real dog handlers, so I imagine they just put like a call out to any.
Right. For extras.
Yeah, for extras. Yeah, and on top of everything, it's just fun to watch dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs don't hurt.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think that about wraps up our discussion of the Christopher Guest movies. Thank you, Todd, again for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We always have fun with the movies that you pick. If you want to go back and listen to the other ones, we've done
Troll 2,
and Best Worst Movie
Ever.
And then we did
The Room,
King of Kong,
King of Kong,
and The Wizard.
The Wizard, yeah.
And The Wizard.
And our last live show was a Todd pick also.
That's true, too.
It was Conan the Barbarian and Masters of the Universe.
If you've never watched our live show, we did it last year at HerdCon, and you can get that on our YouTube. It actually has video.
There were literally dozens of people not there.
Yes.
It always reminds me of what my grandpa used to say when I played sports as a kid. He'd always say, if you look out in those stands and you don't see me, it's because I ain't there. And that's exactly how it was for all of the people wanting to see us live.
Yeah, it felt like a Christopher Guest movie. Like this little quirky library podcast. Like, we're going to go to a HerdCon convention and we're going to put on a live podcast. And there's crickets.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get picked up by Spotify.
Yeah. We're going to be millionaires.
We are on Spotify.
We are.
But speaking of HerdCon, we are going to be at HerdCon again this year, minus
me.
Yeah, I forgot your name.
I forget it too sometimes. I'm totally forgettable. I just blend into the background.
We're going to be at HerdCon again this year, minus Josh. But most likely we're going to do like a collaboration if you want to come out and see that. We really appreciate Some live people.
Yes, it seems like as of right now, the plan is to do a collab with the HerdCon Popcast.
Yes.
So
we're hoping something will work out there. Regardless, we will have a table there if you want to swing by and say hello.
Yep.
And it's HerdCon's fun. It's free. So
it's a really good convention. Go.
It is. And especially for it being free.
Yeah. And
completely free.
I was really impressed with all the vendors last year.
Yeah. They had all kinds of good
too much
ones.
money.
Yeah. You and Toby both bought a lot of things.
Toby's dropped a couple $100 right away. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
On a giant, enormous 3D printed sword.
It was Frostmourne from World of Warcraft. If anyone
Whatever
out there
means.
plays that at all, it glowed in the dark and was amazing.
I didn't know it glue in the dark though, or glows in the dark. I don't know.
Glue in the dark.
It had rare earth minerals that they used to paint the runes, and so when it gets dark in the room, it glows. It's in my living room above my game table.
There you go. So, anyways, that's something that's coming up. But I guess the next thing we're going to do, well, first of all, we will be having Todd back again soon. We're going to do a wrestling episode.
Oh, that's right, the wrestling episode.
Wrestling.
okay.
We're going to talk about wrestling.
So that will be in a couple episodes, so look out for that. But our next episode will be coming out. Are you going to release it on Valentine's Day, or will it be out?
I can
on
put
the
it out
15th.
on Valentine's.
We should do it on
If we
Valentine's
record
Day.
it before Valentine's Day, it can come out a day
We'll
early.
record it.
Okay.
So we're going to say it's our Valentine's Day episode. And since if you've listened to the podcast, that's probably, of course, my favorite time of the year. Not. We are going to go with some horror movies.
Yeah.
So we're going to do...
Back to your regularly scheduled podcast.
Yeah. So we are going to do My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, the original 1981 movie.
And then the remake from
2009.
Okay.
That
I
stars
haven't
Jensen
seen.
Ackles of Supernatural fame, for those of you out there who are
Yeah.
The remake
fans.
does.
All the remakes of 2009, Jensen Ackles did My Bloody Valentine, and Jared Padalecki did Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
I actually really like the Jared Padalecki Friday the 13th, though. I
Right.
think it's all right. I mean, it's better than a huge swath of the sequels.
It's better
I
than
think.
a few of them.
Yeah, like everything after 6.
Yeah, it's fair. Except for Jason X.
That one's fun, but it's
Yeah.
not necessarily good.
I'd still watch it over the 2009 one.
Welcome to
I like
our horror
Jason,
podcast.
I like Jason in the 2009 one. Everything else is kind of eh.
Yeah.
But I like Tater Sack Jason.
I think the opening in the 2009 one's really strong. I think that
It is.
after that it kind of it falls off a little bit, but they really nailed the formula.
It does a pretty good job.
Sorry.
So back to the
I mean,
regular
if anything,
podcast.
the kills were
nope.
just kind of lame in this Friday in the 2009 one. Aside from the opening, with
Yeah,
the
like
sleeping
the
bag.
opening kills
But
are
it's
good,
just
where
it's
the
just
girl
your
gets
standard machete kills.
yeah, the girl gets hung up in the
in
that
the sleeping
one's
bag.
great.
Yeah,
Like
over the fire.
yeah.
She's burning alive. It's really awesome.
While her boyfriend is stuck in a bear trap and is trying to get to her, that's a really intense, great kill.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Jason laying so many traps though.
Yeah,
But
he does. I mean,
he doesn't really do that.
No.
It's more just spontaneous. I sense people are having sex. Let me kill them. Or
right.
doing drugs.
Well, to be fair, that is what attracts him in that one.
I mean, yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess the sleeping bag. You could just say he's just
he's
he's just oh, there's a fire and there's a sleeping bag. I know what to do.
yeah. It's not really that one's not really a trap so much as it is
Yeah.
just that
The
that's
bear
how he
trap
chooses
is.
to kill her.
Well,
The
I mean,
bear trap is.
maybe the bear trap isn't his either.
Yeah,
That's
who
true.
knows?
Gets caught in a bear
Could have
trap.
just been there.
Yeah, but anyway,
Yes. Enough about the supernatural
Yeah.
boys in horror movies. We'll talk about that next podcast.
So I think we already did. But so for next episode we're going to do My Bloody Valentine, the original and the remake.
yeah,
You have seen the original, and
Yeah,
I've seen the remake.
I've maybe seen parts of the remake,
Okay.
but I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, and I think I've mentioned the remake a couple times on here when we've talked about 3D movies and stuff.
Yeah, because it came out. I guess before. I think it was still the old, or it was very. It was.
It was old school 3D because I
I'll have to
like
look.
the old
It might
school.
have been real D 3D because by this point you'd had Beowulf.
Oh,
And that was
okay.
full real D, what Avatar was, where the glasses are clear. It wasn't the red and blue.
That was the first.
No,
movie I
it
saw
was
3D.
it was not like Avatar. It was the old 3D where it's coming at you.
I mean the glasses, the
Oh,
old school glasses,
I think
where
they
they're
were
red and blue.
I think they were still red and blue.
Were they? I have to look
I
that
think.
I do not think. because I went to see this movie when it came out.
I don't remember. All I know is I really liked it because like there was an axe that was thrown or something and it looked like it was coming right at you.
Yeah.
And then there was a scene where there was like a hand or something and it looked like it was hanging out of the screen and dripping blood like onto the carpet. I just remember that. I remember I really liked the 3D of this movie. I don't really remember. I remember liking it back then. But who knows? I mean,
this might have been the first R-rated movie I ever went to see in theaters. Was My Bloody Valentine 3D?
Interesting.
Yeah, it totally had the 3D glasses, like the ones that you currently use.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was 16, man. Like, that's the thing.
I don't know.
I wasn't allowed to watch R-rated movies. I snuck out to see this one.
Oh, I was like 40 or something. Who
Terminator
knows?
2 was mine. I was just reminiscing about this with my sister the other day because she took me to go see it.
Yeah.
I was 7, going on 8.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I saw
Going on
Pulp
30.
Fiction at like 10 or 11 years old.
Did you? In
Yeah,
theaters?
In theaters.
Nice. I'm jealous.
Yeah,
I like to see
have
that
an
in
older brother.
theaters.
Saw what in theaters?
Pulp Fiction. Went way over
Oh.
my head. I mean,
Yeah. Well, now that we're done reminiscing,
Back in my day when
We'll get
City
back-
United Artists Theater was
by the
there.
way, I was not 40 when this movie came out. I just said that, and I want to clarify.
You're not 40 now.
Right. Yeah. I'm like 28. So.
No,
Yeah.
you're not.
You were 28 maybe, 7 years ago.
Anyways. All right. So that wraps up this kind of a mess episode. Thanks for trucking along with us if you stuck to this part. But join us next time when we will discuss the My Bloody Valentine's movies. And until then, I'm Aaron.
I'm Josh.
This is the real opposites.
Leave that. Do that.
Okay.